welcome to another installment on CapTech. Today we're going to look at the Idiocracy of Ottawa, Illinois. And if you haven't already, I invite you to check out the channel, like, and subscribe. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. So I should state first that I love Ottawa, Illinois. It's my hometown. It would be my hometown if I lived here or 1,000 miles away from here like I have before. But nevertheless, enough stuff has chapped my hide recently with the 61350 that I feel like somebody needed to make a video to kind of call out kind of our history of poor decisions and then where that ties in today to provide a historical context to our current subpar decision making. So where I wanted to start with that was where we turned down the U of I for the appellate court many moons ago. Nobody's fault that's, currently alive or probably has been for, decades and decades, eons and eons. But, we'd like some jobs in the area, so I just thought, well, how many jobs would we have if we had U of I Champaign? Looks like about 14,000. How much does our beautiful appellate court get us that we chose over that? I don't know. I don't know how many people work in there. I'm guessing 100, but I would almost promise that it's less than 14,000. Anyway, anybody can make one bad decision, so we can't really judge us by that. So let's dive into the rest. So you're saying that's great, Josh, about the appellate court versus the, choosing the appellate court over the U of I. But give us a more recent example. How about something in our lifetime, man? All right. How about when we decided we would, get a shopping mall finally, and my old friend Herb Cantack and that gang decided, okay, well, we don't want to hurt the retail businesses too much, but so let's build it on the exact opposite end of town as the interstate and try to make everybody drive all the way through our entire town. 90% of the traffic probably comes on the interstate to get to our Southtown, mall. Save the little guy, right? Well, that would work, but you wouldn't need to get an MBA to figure out that that would only work if competition didn't exist. So Peru, the next sizable town, and even further from Chicago, where the traffic I would imagine would be primarily coming from, just built their mall right along the interstate, and it's still thriving today. So that's just a more, in our lifetime example of our poor, let's call it poor urban planning. So, okay, we've looked at a couple examples of our history of poor planning, but let's even go a step beyond that and look at what I would call our history of poor naming. As you notice here, the main drags through Ottawa, the cross streets: Madison, Jefferson, Jackson, Washington, and Lafayette. Which one doesn't belong? Well, I understand Lafayette's an explorer around here and all, but we clearly have a president theme. You can't just throw Lafayette in there with the presidents. It takes away from the integrity of the nomenclature, man. Oh, Kappelman, give us some more examples of things we didn't properly name. That's what you Ottawanians are probably saying to each other and myself, right? All right, here's another example. How about our primary tourist trap right next to our beautiful new brewery downtown and stuff? Where the Lincoln Douglas debate took place. Our claim to fame, albeit an antiquated one, right? It's a statue of Lincoln and Douglas. Only pretend you're a tourist looking to find this place and you want to see it. Only if you go looking for Lincoln Douglas Park with the statues of Lincoln and Douglas and where the debate was, you're going to find people playing baseball at less than a professional level. Our Lincoln Douglas Park is not where our statues of Lincoln Douglas are and where the debate took place. That's actually in Washington Square Park. It's fine if you're from here, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind having some of the tourist money stick around. Maybe we could pay less in our taxes that way. So just another example of naming, and I'm afraid it won't be my last. let's go on with the presentation. Okay, so we've looked at a couple things from the long ago past where we didn't do a real great job as a community, naming. So how's our own generation doing? How we doing today? Well, where I went to school, Central School, right south of where that red pin on this map here is, I had assumed, even at a young age, that it was named Central because it was central, in the middle of town. So when you rebuild it out south of town, don't call it Central anymore because it's no longer central. I mean, I think that if you're an educational institution, you have to be even more critical of those types of things because what do you want to do? Send a message that you should just leave a name on something that no longer makes sense. I mean, what's the lesson there? Don't build it south of town and call it central. Come on, man. So let's close the loop on kind of the geographic focused pieces of this. Number one, why do we need 4 auto parts stores walkable to each other, all in the same part of town? Is there some zoning hiccup there? I don't know. We turn one of these into a sports bar? I don't care. It can be an auto parts themed sports bar. That would be just fine. And then, kind of on that rant, so I've got, a part of the Ottawa map here highlighted. My whole life they didn't have liquor stores here on the south side here. They finally have that, which I appreciate. But really, if you did have a restaurant and a bar, wouldn't less people need to go downtown to drink? I mean, a certain amount of them are gonna drive home. I mean, if we really wanted to go about making our roads safer, wouldn't it be better just to have a bar that Southsiders, could walk to? Why keep that dry at this point? Isn't it just causing more trouble and more danger? I mean, I'm sure there's some old money over there that doesn't want to be disturbed or whatever, but maybe we should vote on this. And just FYI for those watching the Prezzo here, that is something the blue laws or dry laws are actually on the titles of the houses on the south side of Ottawa. So it's, at least back when I had seen them a few years back, but it's it's actually embedded in the title. So it would probably be pretty hard to change, but I think the world would be a safer place if the south side Ottawanians had a bar to walk to. I don't even live there. I live out south of there, so take it with a grain of salt. All right, now we've looked at history of poor planning, history of poor naming, and then some poor policy making. And this is just another example of this, another example of poor policy making. So the middle school that we alluded to earlier in another example actually has their concert on Super Bowl Sunday, right? Not the day before. So I mean, I was a step kid and adopted full blown adopted another kid. So you take these kids on, and it's fine. You get them through the school and blah blah blah. And you go to work, you pay your taxes, and then all of a sudden you get the unofficial holiday of Super Bowl Sunday, and it's like, here's a concert. Let's get up and try to plan our Super Bowl Sunday holiday around. Like, I don't mind dropping them off early. I don't mind picking them up late. But you're really going to plan the concert on Super Bowl Sunday? I mean, I don't want them to build a statue of me for being a saint. I mean, no, you can't have my Super Bowl Sunday for your freaking junior high recital. This is absurd. Somebody's got to stand up and say it's our tax dollar that funds the position, man. You can't do that to somebody's Super Bowl Sunday. They work hard. Anyway, that's obviously something I feel some passion about. So, And then I guess if if we want to keep going, which we obviously do, if you're still listening on this point, the reason that I think I finally had enough material and motivation to put something like this together. So we're speaking about our educational establishment, right? Well, to me, that should also teach a little from learning from history's lessons, mistakes of a of a misspent past or what have you. But yet, year and year again, you are forcing people to go into these graduation ceremonies at not only at the school in not only for Ottawa High School in their gym, but also for Shepherd in their gym. It is 110 degrees in there. There's grandparents and stuff. Somebody's going to have a heart attack. Collaborate with a school that has air. Oh my God, cut something else. Please, I was tempting not to even pay all the dues for the gown so the kid wouldn't have to walk down the aisle. I had to get off of a boat to walk into a dry sauna to watch hours and hours of somebody graduating 8th grade. At least, at least you could do it somewhere air conditioned. My goodness, it's just don't have any respect for the 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 struggle, man. The struggle is real. All right, so that's enough of picking on the schools. But it's summer. We're looking forward to the Riverfest. But I got kind of another bone to pick. It's the same festival it's always been. I mean, we get it. We've seen, Marshall Tucker, Eddie Money, whatever was, cool, whatever, 20, 30 years ago, right? That's fine. I mean, you get what you pay for, so to speak. But do you really need my 2 or 3 or whatever it is dollars when I'm coming in there? Because it seems like you could just charge a quarter more for beer, or maybe just don't hire any money. Maybe just I mean, maybe you like 2 tickets to paradise when you're in your 20s or whatever. I don't know, but like it doesn't seem cover charge worthy. And I just think that that's if you're charging somebody more, then you should give them a little more. It's still a la carte where you have to buy food and drink. It's not like you get anything other than, of course, you can see how good Eddie Money's looking here, and I got nothing against Eddie Money, but I mean, just come on, it's not a charge worthy festival. Let's just come out and be honest. Anyway, I love you, Ottawa, but after sitting through that graduation in the dry sauna, I had to at least speak up on just the absurdity and idiocracy that we just come not to even notice in our daily lives around here anymore. Have a great day. Bye.